warmly welcome you and thank you for attending this special occasion marking the retirement of Master Chief Jack Mickle. It is my pleasure to introduce the presiding officer of today's ceremony, Captain Jeremy Vaughn.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Really good to be here. I know it's supposed to be the skipper. However, they had to go to the bullpen. So skipper's flying right now. XO is off, really sick. And have you ever seen someone from Alabama sick? It's not a pretty sight. He is miserable. And so they went to the bullpen, which I found out that Master Chief was pumped. I am excited. I'm so excited to be here. And it's what a huge honor to be here, especially when I found out how old you really were. So pretty awesome. So first, just want to say welcome to everybody. Lots of former Ford shipmates here. Really good to see you guys. And I was remarking, I had never seen so many badges in my life. And in my former life, I'd be worried about it. I just want to do a special welcome to Julie, Joshua, Noah, Nicole. Thanks so much for coming. It's going to be awesome. I know it's a long time coming to this ceremony. You guys mentioned it a little bit. This is already starting off awesome, and we got to keep an eye on him. So there's enough master arms around here to keep him under control. I hope. So if you know Skipper Cummings, he likes to keep things light, and so he asked for some some stories from the past, and the request was finished up with the last sentence that said, "Bring the heat." So I've got a few things here. Because it turns out that Master Chief, as squared away as he is, and he is squared away. He's one of the first people I met on the ship. When I checked in, I ran into him like, man, this is an awesome ship. It's awesome. I think you corrected my uniform. I'm not sure. Maybe you might have. And I'm just thinking, this guy is really squared away. And then I get these stories, and now I understand where it all came from. So some people join the Navy because service, the flag. I mean, first of all, a round of applause for the national anthem. That was unbelievable. When you hear that, that's why we serve. And then you hear 32 years, and that's a lot of sacrifice. And as a father of two daughters that have been sacrificing all over the world, 3 continents, 9 schools, 8 years, I get it a little bit, but not 32 years. That's awesome. Thanks so much for the sacrifice from the family. But back to the fun stuff. So he gave me a few stories, and some people are joining the Navy, joining the service because they, the flag, that kind of thing. Some people are forced in, and I think the more I hear, the more I realize I think he was forced in, and I'm not sure if he's in the right rate. So, so the first story starts off with Jack and his best friend caught the school bus on fire. So it started early. The signs were there early. Cops were called, so maybe he was inspired. I don't know. And then later on, I guess he wasn't afraid of those guys enough, so he stole Shoney's big boy and put it out in the middle of the island on a lake. Would you swim back? You left it there, I heard. Oh, okay, all right. Whatever. And then one day, finally, you can kind of see his early life and his personality growing up through all these stories. So the next one is he's learning to drive, completely takes out the mailbox, and then turns out, tells his mom, "I'm so sorry, I took out the mailbox." His mom's like, "Yeah, I did that last month, no worries." So the apple didn't fall very far from the tree. And then then as he goes, he meets Julie, and I think that's probably what made the turn. Probably made you a lot better. However, that started off rocky too. The engagement. So picks a gravel road, right? In the dark, middle of nowhere, and then drops the engagement ring. So I'm not sure if that's the same one or not, but well done. And then, I guess to make up for it, went to the store to go buy her a present with like 1 minute left in the store, and then comes home with shoes for himself. So good job on that one. One last story. So this is Master Chief. So one thing is he is calm, cool, collected all the time until he's not, and then when he's not. Woo, watch out. So his son, yep, that's right, I just saw the nudge, was fixing a lawnmower, right? With a sledgehammer. And they were beating on it and beating on it and beating on it and beating on it until they found out it was actually in the right position. So fantastic. We got a couple more on here. I'm actually going to leave them, but I do want to draw your attention to, I wish the pictures were still up in the back because the poses are fantastic. I mean, you can pose. And XO Gott, who's here, who's fantastic, is another hair guy, and he can pose too. Skipper Cummings wanted me to make fun of his hair first, but I realized that, I can't, with Hollywood in the audience. So the other picture I just want to draw you to quickly is there's a picture over here of him leaning on a patrol car. It's mandatory homework. Everybody's got to go look at the picture of him leaning on the patrol car over here. It's pretty fantastic. So back over to the ceremony. First of all, 32 years, fantastic, unbelievable. And we have the most senior Master at Arms in the Navy getting ready to be talked to, or the speech by another one, another most senior Master at Arms in the Navy. Pretty fantastic. It's an honor to be here. Thank you all for being here today and soaking in an environment where we both have a GoPro and a G.I. Joe doing push-ups on the podium. Pretty fantastic. So thank you for the honor, and welcome everybody. Welcome to the family.
Thank you, Captain Vaughn. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the guest speaker, Master Chief Retired Chacho.
Charlotte, I wasn't that bad compared to him. Yeah. Back in Philly, I was like perfect in every way. Jack. Well, close. Jack, Julie, Joshua, Noah, Nicole, distinguished guests. Too much time in the Middle East, right? Official party. The official party, you guys look great. But like the movie, right? Very pretty, but can they fight? That's the first thing I was thinking of. Remember the movie? Yeah. And you undistinguished guests. You are my favorites, right? Because you show up every day to defend the country without a lot of fanfare, recognition, or big bucks. My heart, of course, always goes out to the families, spouses and families, who keep everything going while we deploy. They figure out how to pay bills, fix cars, get homework done, cut grass, right? do household repairs, including plumbing, right, Charlotte? Yep. Move whenever the Navy decides, and without fancy uniforms or medals. There are no ruffles and flourishes for them, but like the song says, did you ever know that you're our heroes? Okay, at ease. Jack, contact. Let me get this thing right here. Usually I don't even need one of these things. Must be getting old. Jack contacted me, invited me to his retirement. 2 weeks later, he calls me and asks me to be the guest speaker. Now, what does that tell you, right? I was not the first pick, right? I was probably not the second, third, or fourth pick. Now, Jack had these fancy titled positions, right? SWAT team, a stat team leader, right? Inspecting people and community manager, where he managed the health, advancement, retention, and policies of 9,000 MAs. Do you know how many of those 9,000 MAs that he inspected and planned their advancement contacted me with something good to say about Jack? Nada! Zilch! Zero! It's true. Julie, Josh, Noah, Nikki. Do you know how many nice things that they volunteered after he dragged them from the East Coast to the West Coast to Tennessee to Norfolk again? With something nice to say? Nada! Zero! Zilch! God. Now, you know, now, especially I understand Noah, because Jack picked that name. Now, you know every kid is coming up to him and saying, hey, Noah, you expecting rain? How's the boat coming, right? Do you have room for me and my dog, right? You put up with that. He did that, right there, right? He thought that would get him in good with the Lord, right, chaps? It's not. Doesn't work. No, it doesn't work, right? It's not charity, right? It's not charitable. Now I know I'm supposed to say something nice about Jack. I know. And I'm working on it, right? If it was so easy, how come the other four guys didn't take the job, right? Yeah. It's okay, Jack. I didn't have all those fancy title jobs like you. I was just a Mark I, Mod 0 squid. How's that, right? But if given a mission, no matter how difficult, right, I salute, say aye aye, and carry it out smartly, right? I'm working on it. Jack and I go back to the TR, where I arrived in July of 1995, soon after coming out of the Sergeant Major's Academy. Thereafter, we went off to Bosnia, right? It took us 3 weeks with one battle group and a few planes out of Aviano, right, to attack Bosnia. War over. They're all doing chohoi, you know? No Vietnam vets here, I guess. You don't know what that means. Okay. I guess I'm the only one survivor. I knew 3 weeks, think about it. I knew it was a great war. I loved it. You know, I was eating steak and lobster. It was the best war I was ever in, right? I knew I was on a serious fighting ship with a reputation for being really squared away in every way, from regulations to personnel to they actually followed the SORM. No kidding. Really. It was the word of the Lord. Man, if you violated the SORM, they stoned you. You had to stone you, right? Yeah. Jack arrives February of 96, right? And I was still in MACS, right? 2 months later, I put on Master Chief. Jack, you had nothing to do with that. He was going, oh yeah, it's second class, right? He checked in with me, high and tight. Your hair is a little long. You look good. Yeah. Master Chief, you look great. You suck. Back then he was okay, right? He checks in with me, high and tight, dual warfare qualified, right? Impeccable uniform. You know, you only get one chance to make a first impression. And he did that. I never looked at anyone's service record when they checked in with me, and I recommend that to you. You're evaluating them when they get to you, not who they had before, whether they were terrible before or wonderful before. It starts again today. That's the wonderful thing about the Navy. We are reborn. We're born again, right, chaps? Born again. Every command. You like that? That's pretty good, huh? For a Catholic, you know, it's pretty good. You know? It's not in the script. It's a lot of stuff not in the script. Anyway, you know, he looked good as a sailor, right? I personally took Jack around on his check-in, right? I really did, which you don't normally do as a master chief, right, or a senior chief. But I wanted to show him off. I knew what I was doing, right? This is what an MA looks like. That's what he used to look like back then, when he was high and tight and all, right? With me, all personnel deserve a lot of attention, and that is caring, training, maintaining, and leading. And I took it seriously, but a few people, right, I would choose to mentor, and they were very successful. Everyone that I ever mentored, really, honestly, was very, very successful. And you could actually physically tell, if you didn't know them and you walked up to them, you could tell that I mentored them. You know how you could tell? Because backward on their forehead it said Penn State University and Sergeant Major's Academy, right? And they were better guys for it, Yeah, really. When you get these things, right, make sure you get the big ring, right? Get the big ring. I remember the one from Penn State, you could put something on it. I wanted a spike, honest to God, because my degree was in administration of justice, and I thought I could administer justice. It was back when I was a cop. So it's true. It's not in here either. I had very good petty officers. I mean, great petty officers on the TR. I really did. And the department had terrific people, right? They really did. I really liked them a lot. Jack, I found him to be a person of character. Definition of character to me is who you are when only God is looking. That's character. Jack was not just another career sailor, right? Jack was truly serving God and country. The term non sibi sed patria applies to Jack. Now, who besides I am a Latin student? No? You don't know. No. That's your Protestant. You don't know. Catholic school. Come on, they beat this stuff into you. Sister Mary MacTruck, right? No, and I was a real Latin student. I really took Caesar's Gallic Wars seriously. Did the whole thing on them, right? For those without a Latin background, it translates to not self, but country. Not self, but country. Always. The difference between someone who serves and someone who has a career. Jack was always a good family man and an outstanding sailor. I had on TR, really, and I never judge people by their rank, and I recommend you don't, right? I had 2 problem chiefs in a row. I probably deserves that because the department had so many good people, right? And I had so many good petty officers, thank God. The first one had no pen and was telling our MAs you don't need one. His son did a home invasion to rob a drug dealer. He went to the wrong house, and the guy had no idea what he was talking about. He shot the guy in the back of the head and killed him, who had no idea what he was talking about. So we got him off the ship based on all that, right? So then I asked we're bringing females on board the ship, right? So I asked for a female MAC. Now I thought that would be a great idea, that would help me, dealing with females. Makes sense to me, right? Well, she refused to report to the ship while we were deployed. I don't know how you do that. I never got to do that. And then when we pulled in and we were the surge carrier, she still wouldn't come on the ship, right? Because it was pierside. We went into the yards. She reports to the ship, brand new chief too, right? And she's telling everyone she's not going to sea. This made her very unpopular in the CPO mess, especially with the female chiefs, who are trying to adapt in with all-male crews, right? I mean, they're trying to make it happen, not her, right? And she's an MA, right? Not only that, but I know she combed her hair with a hand grenade. I'm sure she, remember her hair? Thank God I lost mine. Okay. But I had these terrific petty officers. I found out about this from my goddaughter, who was a senior chief on the ship, right? From Philly, right? And my goddaughter was on there, and she came to me and she said, "Chach, I am going to kick her butt down to parade rest." I said, no, Susie, let me take care of her. Let me take care of her. But then I found out about the fact that every time I went home, because master chiefs don't stay on duty, right? Every time I went home and I stayed late, she would go home. So my goddaughter came to me and said, hey, this is what's going on. So I got Jack and MA1 Shipley, who went on to be MACM Shipley, right? And confronted the two of them, And, it's like, be nice until it's time to not be nice, like Captain, like you were saying, yeah. And I started chewing their butt. I could chew butt pretty good, And on why they hadn't told me. And of course, they had this feeble excuse that they didn't want to jump the chain of command, right? Your MAs, the Manual of Courts Martial, one of my favorite books, probably wasn't one of their favorite books at the time, right? You report offenses. I don't care what their rank is, right? And I'm chewing them out. And finally, I said, Mickle, when you become, and to your partner there, right? When you two guys become Master Chiefs, you can do it your way. In the meantime, you will do it my way, which is the right way, which is the Navy way. You got it? And Jack, being Jack, said, Master Chief, I'm never going to be a Master Chief. I said, yes, you are, both of you, if I don't kill you. And I'm thinking about it. Yeah, it's true. Oh, you sucked. You sucked. Feeble excuses like that, right? The captain, I'll tell you how bad this was. The captain told the senior medical officer, right, get her off my ship, really. And Smo and I were friends, right? I don't care if she has a hangnail. Get her off my ship, right? But she finally left because they found a small bunion, right? And she left without doing one single day underway, really, right? And after that, her tag in the community was the Bunion Babe. Yeah, she became the Bunion Babe wherever she went. I started to find assignments for Jack, right? But my petty officers and all the others, and I mean, and the people we had in our department, they were great. I started finding assignments for Jack that would put him in the limelight. At a man overboard drill, right? They're all lined up, and I said, Mickle, your request to be the voice of TR has been granted. And he said, Master Chief, I didn't request to be the voice of TR. I said, don't worry, I took care of it for you. Right? Jack resisted my efforts, but I continued to encourage him. Right? Because I took physics, college grad, went to grad school. I took physics, yeah. A kick in the ass is a step forward. It's the laws of physics, right? No problem. And I would say stuff to Jack. Jack, you got to do this, right? You got to do this. And he'd go, yes, Master Chief. Yes, Master Chief. I honestly really did. I don't think you ever do it. He'd just go, yes, Master Chief. I always thought that was, I'm a trained interrogator, right? So, I watch everything. Yes, Master Chief. Right, yeah, okay. I don't know if anybody ever did that with him, but he certainly did it with me. So anyway, Jack had a very successful tour on TR. And let me tell you, TR, most squared away ship you could imagine. And we had Lieutenant Commander Odlin, who went on to be a captain, right? And Commander Odlin was tough. You tried to get an award through him or evals or anything. The officers weren't getting anything through him for a lot of them, right? I kept having to write everything. And he was tough. Jack, while I was there, was, listen to this, TR sailor to quarter for the whole ship, right? Got 3 NAMs, 1 comm, and got promoted from second class to first class to chief. Wow. Wow. Would you call that a pretty successful command? I'm thinking this was his rocket. This was his rocket. Didn't come easy, man. I'll tell you what, I hurt my toe a couple times, I transferred to NOB Security in 98, late. Jack calls me up in 2000. He said, I got orders to Oceana, right? And they're going to put me on from midnight to 8 in the morning. Well, I knew the situation over at Oceana. They had some folks over there that were like 1 foot in a brig and the other on a banana peel, you know? So they didn't want Jack around. You know, he was going to be a problem to them without a doubt, right? So they're going to bury him somewhere. So I told him, hey, when you go in with the commander, right? Who was that? What was that commander? Italian guy. Romano. Yeah, yeah. When you go in with the commander, make sure you mention to him that you used to be a bosun's mate, because he was a LDO bosun's mate, you know? And I like Romano. And when you're going with Captain Wright, you mention it again, and make sure you say your favorite ship was the TR, because the captain loved the TR, right? So, and he used to be a bosun's mate on river patrol boats in Vietnam, Captain Wright. He was like a legend guy. And tell them that you're a good fit for the St. Land Fleet Compound. You guys call that what, Fleet Forces Command now? Is that what they call it now? Okay, whatever they call it now. We used to go St. Land Fleet Compound, right? Let me tell you, that's not an easy assignment. This time, I'm cutting him loose, man. I'm not pushing him and telling him what to do anymore at all, right? We're done with that stuff, right? You're a chief, right? You got it, sink or swim. And that's really not an easy assignment. Jack takes charge over there. What's he do? He calls me and says, the XO, we had this female XO, she was a commander, later she makes captain, right? Wants us to get together a team to run the Wilderness Challenge. Any of you guys ever heard of the Wilderness Challenge up in West Virginia for the military? Okay. I said, this is Wednesday. I said, when is it? He said, Friday. Friday? She'd been training for a year, right? It's like, she said, you guys are always in shape, yeah? I said, okay. So I went and I got these two guys. We had these two canine guys. They were twins, right? Blonde hair, blue eyes. And I mean, when you saw these guys, they looked like Chippendales. Honest to God, they did, right? We went to the bar. What they all yell? The strippers are here. It's like, they did. Honest to God. Yeah, it's what they yell. Not us. We didn't say that. It was all those pagans sitting there said it, right, when we walked into the bar, right? Anyway, but these two guys, we went out there with them, right? The first phase of this Wilderness Challenge up there in West Virginia, right? The first phase, I mean, you had to run and bike and do all this crazy stuff through these mountains. I mean, it was crazy stuff up there, right? And the first phase, she decides to quit. She lays down. She's got a little bit of heat exhaustion, right? So we start peeling some clothes off her. What do you got under there? That's it. Oh, no, stop there. Okay, got it. Okay. So she said, I can't go anymore. So the two Chippendale guys, right, they said, you should have seen these guys. They were from Missouri. That's someplace near Missouri, I think. And I don't know, I can't find it on a map. So anyway, these two guys, right, they told her, you either run or we're going to drag you out like a deer. Oh, she popped right up. Off we went. And she was really good on the whitewater rafting. She was really good at that, right? Anyway, we did good and we completed that. And we also got to the bus that had the beer. Remember I rigged that, right? And we were the first guys in line for the pig picking. We finished about the middle of the pack with everybody else. Jack had set up rams over there at St. Land Fleet Compound with the canine. And at 2:30 in the morning, right, they put one of the dogs, you know, every so many cars, right, you put the dog in, right? Okay. He puts the dog in, right? They put the dog in and the dog sat. Now, you know what that means when the dog sits, right? What's it mean? It's a what? MAs. There you go, brother. Thank you. Okay. That's not what it meant. The dog... The dog had to do its duty, right? Number two. Now, you know, guess whose car this was? The Vice Admiral. Yeah. Thank God it wasn't an enlisted guy. I didn't have to go and apologize to him, you know? So I thought it was hysterical. My wife loved it, you know? So while I was there, I had a terrific senior chief MA, right? He was another refugee from Oceania, right? And I helped him become a CWO3, right? And senior believed in finding and developing talent. And I know we have one of them here. He was a second-class bosun's mate. Where you at? Stand up there. What are you afraid of? Right? And he thought he had great promise. I was a little skeptical because when we put him in the armory, right? We'd have him do a bunch of stuff, and then we would do an oral board. Well, in the oral board, what do you think Boats did? In the oral board, I came in, right? And, you know, I'm on the access list, so I went over and I got a box of 9mm, 50 rounds, and I started out. And he said, Master Chief, you can't go out with the ammo. We're doing the board. And I said, hey, get the hell out of my way, right? I'm a Master Chief. He said, no, you can't. He tries to get I said, hey, get out of my way because when my anchors go up your ass, the stars are going to scratch. Now get the hell out of my way, right? So, of course, oh, really? They do. They'll scratch. I worry about these guys. I'm a, deep-hearted guy. So I go outside, right? And what do you think he did? He shot me in the back over a box of 9mm. Then, of course, we explained to him that what I was really doing is that they had issued the CO and M11, right? And I was going to go out and do a fan fire with him, right? Gunned me down like a dog, shot me right in the back. Now, when he was on duty, I never sat with my chair to the door, ever, right? But I'll tell you what he wasn't. He was a dynamite guy. I mean, he was a go-to guy, right? He and King, right? You two guys, they were tremendous, right? And he was never, ever a backstabber. He was a back shooter, but not a backstabber, right? Now, the MWR guy over there at Norfolk, he comes to me and he says, Chach, we're going to bring professional wrestlers on board. I said, that's nice. He said, well, we want you to help out with the show. Okay, of course, we're security. He said, no, we want you to help bring these wrestlers in, like in chains and they're crazy and all this, right? Okay, no problem, right? So I said, Jack, and who else was with us? Somebody else. Yeah, it was somebody else. Yeah, a couple more words, right? Okay. So we go over to talk to the wrestlers in advance, right? So I'm looking at this and talking with somebody else, and the next thing you know, these guys are big. They're big. This one guy starts giving Jack a really bad time. And I said, hey, yo, if you got a problem, you bring it here. You got it? Right? And this guy says, oh, I'm sorry, Sergeant. Sergeant? I said, I'm not a sergeant. I am a Master Chief in the world's most powerful Navy. But you, because I like you, may call me by my first name, Master, right? I thought, I'm being Chach, I had to teach Jack to be Jack. He didn't know when I got him he was Jack. I had to teach him how to be Jack, right? But I knew who Chach was. I'm going to be Chach, right? So, anyway, this guy then says, now look, he said, now, when we body slam you, I said, what'd you say? And Jack said, what'd he say? He said, when I body slam you, Jack said, what did he say? And I said, say it again. When I body slam, oh, you're afraid. I said, I fear no man and only one woman. And you don't look nothing like her. You got it? So we did. We went in with these guys, right? And we had this crazy guy in chains, and we bring him in. Of course, they wrestle and all this, and the next thing you know, we got to jump in a scenario. And yeah, no kidding, they were body slamming us all over the place, right? And boom, boom, boom. And then that one big guy, while we're down, he jumps on my head, right? And then he jumped on your head too, right? So Finally, we get some more MAs in there. We get them all, back in chains, and we get them out of there, right? And we're signing autographs, remember that? And Jack says to me on the way out, he said, when that guy jumped on my head, I felt something wet. And I thought, I'm bleeding. And then I reached up, and it was snot. And I said, Jack, I had the same thing. I reached up, but it was tears. It was like, oh, wow. Anyway, my dad worked at the shipyard, right, before the war started. And he had 2 kids. He was married, and of course, he was a welder. So when the war started, he wasn't going to get drafted because they needed a welder more than they needed another soldier, Anyway, he taught me my first poem. Now, it's not like Mary Had a Little Lamb stuff, right? I mean, a real poem. And he said, he got it from the old chiefs that he met when they were building the ships. And he said, it goes like this. When I was young and in my prime, before my beard was gray, to fighting ships and sailor men, I gave my heart away. And that guy, when he checked on board, I didn't give it away. He stole my heart. He was that kind of guy. Now, I'm going to finish this up with a story about, because you guys are carrier sailors, pretty much, right? Everybody pretty much a carrier sailor, I guess? Yeah, got it. And I did other ships too, but because you're mostly carrier sailors, I want to repeat a true story that President Reagan told about a carrier off of Vietnam after the fall of Saigon. A carrier came up on an overloaded boat that was out of food and water and was near foundering in the swells. As they came up alongside of the carrier, the elevator was down, and a teenage Vietnamese boy saw a young sailor at the edge of the elevator and realized that they probably was going to rescue him. The Vietnamese boy started smiling, and he started waving at the sailor. And of course, the U.S. sailors being U.S. sailors, he smiled back, and he waved back. And when he did, the Vietnamese boy, he just started waving with both hands like crazy. Then they dropped a line over. And they dropped over the pilot's ladder and a bosun's ladder to bring people on board. And the Vietnamese boy, he looked up and he yelled up to the sailor, "Hello, American sailor. Hello, freedom man." And that's who Jack has been, a freedom man. And that's how you guys are and gals, freedom men and freedom women. And if anybody ever calls you anything else, you call me. And I will share with them my formal education and advanced leadership training. God bless you.
All right, thank you, Master Chief Chacho. Captain Vaughn and Master Chief Mickle, please come forward. Will the guests please rise for the presentation of the award? Attention to order. The President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Meritorious Service Medal, Gold Star in lieu of second award, to Master Chief Master at Arms, Surface Warfare, Jack P. Mickle, United States Army, for services set forth in the following. For outstanding meritorious service while serving as Security Department Leading Chief Petty Officer on board USS Gerald R. Ford from June 2013 to April 2019. Demonstrating exceptional leadership, Master Chief Mickle guided 11 Chief Petty Officers in the training, mentoring, and qualification of 300 sailors on the Navy's first Ford-class aircraft carrier. His efforts and dedication to mission accomplishment resulted in the timely establishment of a fully functional security department labeled Best on the Waterfront by Commander, Navy Air Force Atlantic during the 2017 and 2018 Anti-Terrorism Force Protection Phase 1 through Phase 4 inspections. Additionally, he masterfully orchestrated 280 sailors in a safe and professional security operation for Ford's highly successful commissioning ceremony. His efforts ensured the personal safety of the President of the United States, Secretary of Defense, and over 9,000 guests. This award is a culmination of 32 years of dedicated service to the Navy and the defense of our nation, and is a testament to the enduring contributions and countless personal sacrifices he made to preserve freedom and liberties all Americans cherish. Master Chief Mickle's exceptional professionalism, personal initiative, and loyal devotion to duty reflect great credit upon him, and were in keeping with the highest traditions of United States Naval Service. Signed for the President, R.J. Kelly, Rear Admiral, United States Navy, Commander, Naval Air Force Atlantic. Guests, please be seated. Sorry, gotta get my place again. You're hanging out. Yeah. Julie, will you, Josh, Noah, and Nicole please join Jack on stage? You're good, Jack. Good right there. Wherever you want to go.
Oh, wherever you want.
It's your show. Captain Vaughn will now present Master Chief Mickle's family with certificates of appreciation. Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Navy to Mrs. Julie L. Mickle. By the authority invested in me, it is my pleasure to express the grateful appreciation of the United States Navy to you for enduring frequent and long separations from your husband during his naval career. These periods demonstrated his love for you. He left to ensure you inherited a safer world and assured peace. He made our Navy stronger and kept our nation safe. With his service to the Navy now complete, my wish is that he will be able to spend more time with you and your family. Given this 26th day of April, 2019, J.J. Cummins, Captain, United States Navy Commanding Officer, USS Gerald R. Ford.
I know it's not time for me to speak yet, but I wanted to give my children, I'll give you one later. I mean, today, not tonight. Well, tonight too. Anyway.
Chaps!
Hey, he can't do last rites, but he's Boston.
Being married to me has many benefits. Anyway, so, no, this is for my children, and I wanted to read it out to you guys because to me it was, someone recommended this, and I was looking. I'm not the most creative guy in the world at all, and Julie can testify to that, but I needed some help in figuring out what can I get my children. And, that's nautical, but it's also something that is, thoughtful. And so they said, how about a compass? And we said, okay, a compass, but it represents more than just a compass. It's a way home, right, or a direction. And so on it says, oh, I need my readers. It says, may you always find your way in life. If you can't, ask me. Ask Dad, all right? So, there you go.
Captain Vaughn will now present Master Chief Mickle with letters of appreciation from Presidents Donald Trump Master Chief Mickle will also be receiving certificates of appreciation from former presidents Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, the governors of Texas and Tennessee, and also the McPon.
I don't even feel good touching this.
Camera just broke.
You don't know what I have to do for that picture.
Oh yeah, I do.
Watch that face.
And now Master Chief Rob Laird will present Master Chief Mickle with his shadow box. According to some accounts of naval history and tradition, when a sailor retires and is departing the ship for the last time, it is considered bad luck for the sailor's shadow to touch land before he does. Thus, the sailor's shipmates would construct a sailor's box, handcrafted of the finest materials, in which to display mementos of the sailor's accomplishments, thereby symbolically creating a shadow of the sailor. The box contains the sailor's shadow until he is safely ashore, at which time the shadow box can be given to the sailor in the presentation ceremony. Ideally, the shadow box serves not only as a reminder of the achievements and accomplishments, but also a summation and culmination of a career. A shadow box should enable a stranger glancing at its contents to gain substantial understanding and appreciation of the sailor's past service and achievements.
Hey, so normally you put coins in here, but since he has nice hair, this is going to be a comb rack. It's burning right now.
Oh, sorry. Take it to the movie.
All right, we need to muster a working party for this thing.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it so much.
That's it for right now. I'll let you know. Command Master Chief Novak will now read the 13 folds, followed by Master Chief Washington reading the Old Glory.
Mark time. Mark. Details. Oh. How about? Hey.
The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold is a symbol of our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veterans departing our ranks who gave a portion of their lives for the defense of our country to attain peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature, for as an American, trusting in God, it is to Him we turn in times of peace as well as in times of war for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country, for in the words of Stephen Decatur, our country, in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, be it still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is for where our hearts lie. It is with our hearts that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all her enemies, whether they are found within or outside the boundaries of our republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we might see the light of day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood and mothers, for it has been through their faith, their love, loyalty, and devotion that the character of the men and women who have made this country great has been molded. The tenth fold is a tribute to the Father, for He too has given His sons and daughters for defense of our country since they were first born. The 11th fold represents the lower portion of the seal of King David and King Solomon and glorifies in the Hebrews' eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies in Christians' eyes God the Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit. The 13th fold, lastly, to freedom, because without freedom there is no honor. Without honor, we are not Americans, and on this we vow that as long as this flag flies, we salute you. When the flag is completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our national motto, "In God We Trust." It takes on the appearance of a cocked hat, ever reminding us of the soldiers who served under General George Washington and the sailors and Marines who served under Captain John Paul Jones, who were faithfully followed by their comrades and shipmates in the armed forces of the United States, preserving for us the rights, privileges, and freedoms we enjoy today.
How about face forward, march.
I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over great institutions of learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up! and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident, I am arrogant, I am proud. When I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is a little higher and my colors a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshiped. I am saluted. I am respected. I am revered. I am loved, and I am feared. I have fought in every battle of every war for more than 200 years. Gettysburg, Shiloh, Appomattox, San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, the Argonne Forest, Anzio, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, Guam, Okinawa, Tarawa, Korea, Vietnam, the Persian Gulf, and scores of places long forgotten by all, except by those who were there with me. I was there. I led my sailors and my Marines. I followed them. I watched them. They loved me. I was on a small hill on Iwo Jima. I was dirty, battle-worn and tired, but my sailors and Marines cheered me, and I was proud. I was at Ground Zero in New York City on September 11th as cowardly fanatics attacked America. I was raised from the ashes of once proud buildings by brave firefighters, heroes who risked their lives to save others, showing all that America, although bloody, will never be beaten. Those who would destroy me cannot win, for I am the symbol of freedom, of one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I have been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of my own country. And when it is done by those whom I've served with in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped the surly bonds of earth, and from my vantage point on the moon, I stand watch over the uncharted new frontiers of space. I have been a silent witness to all of America's finest hours. But my finest hour comes when I am torn into strips to be used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the field of battle. And when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving mother at the gravesite of her fallen son or daughter, I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I wave. Dear God, long may I wave. Ready? 2. Right.
Flag detail. Pose.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my distinct honor to present the man of the hour, Master Chief Petty Officer Jackson Perfectus Mickle III, call sign Top Top.
Before he starts, one thing. Take a look at him now, because I'm coming back. I want to see if he can still wear his uniform when he's 72, like me.
Thank you very much for that resounding applause, though you never did it for me on this ship, but I'll accept it now. Well, this is the original 1999 choker I had when I first made Chief, so I got that going for me. And it's a little dull, but it's got character. That's what I always say. So, all right. I did do a speech, so I'm going to try to stick to it as much as possible, but I'm going to go off script a little bit because I have some different things to do. I want to thank you for your patience, but I really want to thank you for being here. You really don't know how honored, words can't express how honored I am to have each and every one of you here, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart, all right? Captain Vaughn, honor and privilege to have you. I'm so glad. I was stoked when I found out that you were going to be doing it. I was like, yes, a man after my own heart right there. Chach, I can basically sit down, you know? I mean, you said everything. Yeah. We did get body slammed together, so Master Chief Novak, you and I've got experience. I am the senior wrestler on board, so when we retire, the spandex are coming on, and we're going to go touring. But thanks, Chach. Those words meant a lot to me. I appreciate that. Lieutenant Scarlett, you are the man. I appreciate you doing this. You tripped me up when you asked me about my mentors. I'm going to go into that a little bit later, but it made me think a lot. But I value you and cherish you. I appreciate what you do for us. Thank you. Senior Chief Cully, who's sitting like a man at the kids' table now. You can't see it, but behind the podium there's a step stool. No. I want to thank you for being my MC. You're an awesome dude. Many speaks and you know, shares of wisdom that we've shared. I really appreciate it. The guy who spent probably countless hours and darn near divorced because of it, Chief Gregory Brooks. Brooks Gregory. You got two first names, bro. I'm going to get it right one of these days. So I want to thank you for all the time you spent doing that. Accord. I'm going to get to you later. And the thunder rolled on that. How awesome was that? So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Jose, Chief Paulino, you the man. Thank you for your countless time. This is something I've never seen before, but it's very special and touching. I appreciate it. Berwin. Berwin, awesome voice. You got golden pipes, bro. You know that, but I just want to let you know I appreciate it. I really do. Flag passing detail. I love every one of you. We handpicked you. You serve. I got my guy here. You're my dentalman, right? My hospitalman, because I was a hospitalman. So got my bosun mate there. Awesome. And then my MAs. Guys, touch me. You really, I mean, not physically, but in my heart, you touched me. Side boys, I hate that name, but it has tradition. You're more like side men and women made of iron. I appreciate you being part of this ceremony. It really makes me, again, humbled. I can't really express my gratitude, but I do have a little something small for people who did participate, so find me afterwards. To recognize my guests, Captain Gott in the back, you the man. Hollywood, going to be the commanding officer of USS San Antonio. I'll tell you what, you have big shoes to fill on the ship, and I really enjoyed having you there. You were, like I tell a lot of people, not a lot of people, but a few people, you're a sane guy in an insane world. But you did have a little crazy in you, which is why we were a little bit soulmates there, especially on Cleaning Station's Song of the Day. We rocked it. The 80s is the best generation for music. I'm going to tell you that right here and now. And movies, right? Right, Art? Okay, got it. I'll get it. Family and friends, there's plenty of people out here. Master Chief Novak, thank you for coming. Jeff Harris, first security officer on board USS Theodore Roosevelt. Gerald R. Ford, we had a lot to do when we first started, but I appreciate you coming all the way from Oklahoma. Thank you for that. We've got the Harrises, Matt and Heidi, from the lovely state of Maryland. I can't tell you stories, but unless you come, well, if I had to tell stories, they would be very funny, but I will forego that. But thank you guys for coming. So many people, Matt, all the way from PA, rocking it. Love the earrings, man. You rock those. I want you to know. and we're going to go to that tavern tomorrow. I mean, so many people from church. I don't want to, belabor your time, but Mr. Arcelona, Manny Arcelona, Lieutenant Commander, retired. Was my ECM, my boss up there in Millington. Actually, he's the reason why I have a college degree, because when it came to chemistry and physics, that wasn't me. It was all him. So I can confirm or deny the legitimacy of my degree. So anyway. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Did I miss anybody? Let me see. Who? Mama Chach. Yes. Where are you at? Oh, there you are, right there. You put up with this knucklehead for all these years, and I don't know how I honestly don't know how you do it, or did it, or continually doing it. But I tell you, y'all are a match made in heaven for you to put up with him, and I don't know, but you make him a better person. You complete him. Obviously, he talked about you all the time on the TR and in Norfolk, so you must be, I know you are. I've seen you, I've talked to you, obviously met you. I know you. You're a wonderful woman, and thank you. Thank you for all you've done and what you do. Where's Lieutenant Commander Williams at? Big deal, Will, back in the back. He's the XO over there at Quantico, NCIS. Second SECO on board the Ford. Awesome guy, really helped me out. Shared a lot of highs, a little bit of lows. But you're going to have those days, right? And I appreciate you. Current SECO, Lieutenant Commander Maston. Whew, I put you through some crap, didn't I? You know what I mean? It's like I haven't even been there the last 4 months, but, I tell you, yeah, I know. We haven't seen you, Joe. Yeah, I got it. Sorry. But the only reason why you're an awesome security officer, your knowledge flows, even though we're both from Columbus, Georgia, born in Columbus, Georgia. He claims Alabama, though. I don't know why. And for an Alabamian, I put up with that, right? And but normally I wouldn't say someone from Alabama is intelligent, but you are. You are one of the few, okay? And you have all your teeth. That's a good thing, right? And Lieutenant J.G. Sanginetti, I told you I'd mention you. You're the man. You got the legs to be a captain. Maybe you'll be the first admiral. I don't know, doubt it. But you can be a captain. Security officer. Just make sure you remember me when you make admiral, you make that speech, okay? So, loved working with you, really did. Again, ups and downs, but you get people that you can work with, have a sense of humor, and you can kind of bond, you can scrap a little bit, and you can share a beer or whatever, but I appreciate you. Pastor Jamie, awesome to have you here, sir, my pastor, Believers Church in Suffolk. It's a thrill, it's an honor to have you here, and I appreciate you. And also other people from Believers Church here as well. I love my church. All right, that's not the speech, that was just the intros, but my speech is not long. All right, so what am I going to miss, folks? So for those of you who don't know, who made this, Jen? The Chick Chiefs on the Gerald R. Ford. Cheyenne, that's right. Now she's an LDL, right? So I don't want to know where this has been. I know during khaki ball he got passed around a lot, so he's been probably more places than I have. So this is the the Master Chief that attended the khaki ball when I couldn't go that one year. So I love that. And Jen, thanks for being here. Senior Chief Munson, thank you for being here as well. What am I going to miss? I want to miss the people. I mean, the people is where it's at. It's not about me. They say retirements are about, all the praises that Chacha's talking about on me. It's not who I am. I always wanted to see other people succeed, because when others succeed, it means that maybe I've been a success. Maybe I had an input in it. That's what I want. I want to pass on to my sailors and my friends and especially my family that, that's my legacy. It's the million little things you do, not the one or two big events, It's the million little things you do as the rain comes down. And I want to thank you all for being there for me, for sharing those conversations, for shedding a tear when you need to, a shoulder to lean on, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss, like I told Lieutenant Scarlett, the smells of the ship. Because no matter how many ships you go on, they all smell the same, right? And I love it. I don't know what it is about it. but I love it. So this is about you. This is not about me. I would not have been a success without you guys, without the millions, or I shouldn't say millions, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of those who have served with me, for me, and whom I've served. I tell you, my success is all because of you. It has nothing to do with me. The Navy messed up, made me a chief, don't know why, and then they messed up again, made me a senior chief and a master chief. It was all about timing, but I really want to say thank you to all of you, because you're what makes me. That I mean that for real, all right? So to clear some things up, I did not set the bus on fire. For the 8 millionth time, it was a CO2 extinguisher, but the cops did come and arrest us. No. We did get arrested. Yes, we did get arrested. Went down to the police station. And my mom, they released me to my mom, who showed up, yes, drunk, driving her car. I don't know. That's how the 80s were, I guess. I don't know. I mean, so, yeah, I did that. I did do that. I'm an 80s guy. So I love 80s music, and I also love 80s movies. And one is, not very many people saying, it's called Dune, made in 1984, all right? For you nerds out there, or bookies, you've read it or you've seen the movie. But the very opening line of the movie, so you don't have to watch the whole thing, just watch the opening line. It's a weird movie, but it's pretty cool. And it goes like this. The guy says, "I'll miss the sea, but a person needs new experiences. They jar something deep inside, allowing him or her to grow. Without change, something sleeps inside us and seldom awakes. The sleeper must awaken." When I heard that, I was like, because I was saying, I got to write my speech. When I heard that, I was like, yes! Put down my bottle of wine, and I went to go write the speech. I think it's funny because I do drink a little bit of wine. I try to hide it from my wife, and I think I'm getting away with it, but I don't think I really do. I think she knows. No, she don't? Oh, well, cat's out of the bag now. So I was good at it. All right. So change is always hard. It is. Unless you win the lottery, change is hard. It's never easy. But if you think about it, the only way we know and appreciate the good times and the good things is because we go through bad times and bad things. As Tom Hanks said in A League of Their Own, and I said this, God rest his soul, at Tufts that day that he passed away on final night, or the day of, and they still went through it. The chief selectees, January, part of that group. Would they go on? Or would they basically, out of, I guess, respect or whatever, sadness, give up and not do the final night because he passed? But what I said to him, as Tom Hanks said in A League of Their Own, he says, it's the hard that makes it great. And they will forever remember that night, not just because it's final night, but because their loved one, their friend, whom they valued, passed away during that time. But they did not quit, ever. And that's hard to do, especially in the face of adversity. And there's much to be said about working hard and earning what you get, because it becomes valuable. Why does it become valuable? Because it costs you something, whether it be time, money, hard work, blood, sweat, tears. I don't like it, especially in today's society where we think we can just be handed things. You should work for it, because it builds character. It makes you appreciate. And when you can appreciate something, just like the CVN 71 USS Theodore Roosevelt's motto is, an attitude of gratitude. If you have that, you will go far, right? So, if I give you 3 things of advice, especially for you young bucks out there, one of them is always remain humble. Because if you're not humble, there's always someone better than you, better looking. Well, in my case, maybe not. But you might find someone who is better at anything that you do, right? You aren't owed anything. Be humble. Respect your fellow man. Choose them first, right? Always be able to receive direction, discipline, someone who's challenging you. Give Number 2 is give more than you take. Because when you deposit and deposit, Mike, we were talking about this just yesterday, I think it was. Or was it you? I don't know, maybe it's 2 people. Anyway, so when you deposit stuff in someone's account, whether it be a loved one or a coworker, when it comes time to make a withdrawal, you've got something to pull off of, right? Always give more than you take. Because when you do that, when the bad times or challenging times come, it's easier to make that withdrawal, and people want to help you out. If you're always taking, there's nothing to pull from, right? And the last thing is live out the exclamation point. And what I mean by that is find something you're passionate about. I don't care what it is. Just go do it, right? Find something you're passionate about. Live it. Live life on purpose every day. When you get up, have a reason to get up. Know what you're going to do, and go do it. Have a goal. Match you full of always talking to sailors down in security every morning about that same thing. Nothing's going to be automatic. You got to do it on purpose, not by accident, because it'll never come to fruition on accident, right? So those are my 3 words of advice. And now on to my family. My mother-in-law and my father-in-law, whom I call Mom and Dad. My mother passed away March of 2012. And before that, she really didn't have, I had a great relationship with her. She had me when she was 17. So we kind of raised each other. But, we kind of had I never really liked to call my mom, and Julie would always get on to me, call your mom, call your mom. Okay, I'll call my mom, right? But she passed away. Unfortunately, she can't be with us. But she and I had a great relationship. But during the time I met Julie in 1989, the one thing she said to me, my mother-in-law, she says, if it's the last thing we'll do, we're going to get you in this family. And I should have run, right? No. It was the best thing I did, just stay. And I don't know how you did it, but I'll get to you in a second. Anyway, my mother-in-law, love you. You've become my mom. Dad, you've become my dad, right? And I cherish all the stuff you put up with me in the early years, and it was a lot. But I love you, and I thank you so much for that. All right? And I got something for you. Can we do this? I don't, about the flowers and stuff. It is my ceremony, but I don't know how to do it. Pull rank? Okay.
Take charge.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I like that. I'm going to use that child. All right, Mom, so everybody knows what it is, and maybe you can't see, so I'm going to read it to you. All right? This is a military mother-in-law medal. All right? And it's greatly awarded to those who serve their country and the home front. And they wear no uniform nor require or display ribbons showing where they have been, and yet they go. They answer the call to duty and unwaveringly serve the best of their ability without pieces of cloth or ornaments to demonstrate their service. They unquestioningly remain to support their son-in-law so he can serve their country proudly. Thanks for all your support while I was out serving our country. And it's from me. I love you. All right. Getting my steps in. All right. Dad, he's a Vietnam vet. He's from the Army veteran, so I had to get him a gift. I didn't know what to get you, right? So I got you something that said Army on it. I hope that works. All right. Let's see. My kids, my children. Joshua, my firstborn, took all my DNA. As you can tell, he looks just like me. Well, I'm a little bit better looking, but that's okay. You'll grow into it. No, for real. Noah, my secondborn. So to clear that up, it sounds almighty and holy that I named him after a biblical character, right? Truth be told, I used to watch General Hospital a lot, and you know I love the 80s, and Rick Springfield was on General Hospital. And he was a great 80s singer, and he played a character on there, General Hospital, called Noah Drake. So congratulations, you're named after Noah Drake.
It only gets worse here.
Yeah, I know. Well, we almost named our daughter after a cat, so I'm glad we didn't do that. Josh is named after a biblical character, Joshua in the Bible, right? Tell you, so the reason why there's 5 years difference between Josh and Noah is because I thought our son was literally possessed. Literally possessed. The Mulhollands are back there. They know. He would lose his mind. You go anywhere in church, head would swivel 360 degrees. Oh my God! I was like, we got to quit religion. I guess Jesus is going to have to wait for us to die to see him because we can't go to church with this kid. Couldn't go anywhere. But I don't know. Like I said, the hard things make it great, and you made us great parents. Well, you made her a great mom, me an average dad, right? But it was a joy and a privilege raising you. I remember there's one story that I was going to put in there, but my wife said, don't do that. So we had, those big the big Legos, the monster Lego blocks, right? And they come in a big plastic barrel, clear, see-through. And it just so happened to fit his head. And so what I would do is he would put that thing over his head, and I'd take those Lego blocks and chunk it at his head. He loved it. I was like, oh, yes. Get out frustration and enjoy it. Gets a little entertainment. It was awesome. But we have so many things in common. Our love for Tennessee, it's the Titans anyway. Our love for the women in our lives. Megan, my daughter-in-law, love you. A love for the Lord and a passion for what we do, right? Yours is digital cinematography and all that stuff. You work for ODU and WTKR. Let's give it up for him. Is D here? He's not here? So, but Commander Maston was an integral part of getting you that job, so you need to go say hello to him. We already have said hello. Go thank him anyway. Noah, named after, obviously, a General Hospital star. When you were a baby, you were so cute. You would stand up in your crib and your hair up in the air, bounce around, full of smiles. You were always like that. I don't know what happened to you after puberty. But I love you. As a middle child, I don't want you to be forgotten. You know what I mean? Kind of get lost in the shuffle. That's why you're mom's favorite. So. But you brought us a sense of joy that there were so many stories, so many Noah-isms that if we were wrote them down and remembered them, they would be awesome. But you really brought us a lot of funny moments and a lot of love, right? And really appreciate you, right? Get a job. Lastly, my daughter, I love you so much. When you came out, I was like, so you'd watch Hallmark shows or a commercial. Yeah, you're a guy, you got 2 kids, 2 sons, right? No big deal. But as soon as she was born, I would cry at the drop of a hat. I mean, my gosh, that song Butterfly Kisses, I can't listen to anymore. I cannot. So she's 16, almost 17, will be 17 in July, knows what she wants to do with her life, and she has a passion for the Lord, a passion for medical school, being a nurse. She wants to go overseas and serve, I don't know where, but I'd rather send you than go. I'll pay for it, but I don't know. This going overseas stuff is, even though I done it in the Navy paid me. Going over there, you don't get paid as much, but it's dangerous stuff to do, but she has a passion for it. And that's one thing I love about her is that when she sees something, wants something, she goes for it. Sometimes it's a bad thing, and we have to reel her in. But I'd rather reel you in than have to kick you in the rear end. You know what I mean? Because you have that drive and determination. All you guys do, and that's what I'm most proud of, is my children. You know, I love you. All right. Julie. God, dog. Come on, Jack. Oh.
Twice.
take a blue one. Thanks, bro. God. All right, so 1989, I saw him on LCU 1656. I'll make this kind of quick, but you got to know the background. So LCU is Landing Craft. It's got 13 people on it. That's all it is. And it was all male, but now they're integrated. But back then, it was a crew of 13, and my boss was a first class, and I was a seaman, I guess. No, I was a seaman. Yeah. I was down to berth, and back then, you could actually, smoke in berthings. You could do whatever. I mean, it was kind of wide open back then. So I was up, and it was a weekend. She came. I heard somebody coming down, and I had a broke arm. I was in a cast, which I did claim on disability, by the way. So she came down, and I didn't like people to see me in my rack. I like to be up and about. So I got up, put on a sweater and some pants, and still looking debonair. And she came down and was there to see another guy, right? Yeah, you were. And then, but you didn't stay, right? Didn't stay. You didn't like him, but you left about 5 minutes after you arrived, and I looked, and I was like, I gotta meet her. And it turned out that she was the the sister-in-law of the fireman who worked there on the ship as well. And we met that New Year's Eve. And you may not know this, but I kissed her on New Year's Eve. So, yeah, I know. Sue me. We're married 27 years. It's a little late now. So anyway, I was hooked. You have vexed my soul. I've loved you before I even met you. And now it's your turn. 32 years of being for me is now about you. And I love you so much. I got something for you. Hold on. We're almost there, folks. All right, this is the Order of the Crystal Heart. I do not have my readers on. I cannot read this thing. Suffice it to say, it says a lot of great things. Sure, go ahead.
He can read.
Here you go.
You're going to pick up on that.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Watch this. We'll put it on the white paper. Bam.
That's why you're an officer.
Yeah, that's right. There we go. So we go. The Order of the Crystal Heart, to Julie Mickle. Let this chain represent your strength that has overcome stress and strife. Let this rose represent the beauty you've brought into my life. Let the rainbow cast by the crystal represent the hope that you've kept alive. And let the ribbon represent the love that kept you by my side. But most of all, let this crystal heart represent my return from the U.S. Navy, home to my love, my life, my wife. Home at last to stay with thee. You are the queen of my heart, Jack.
I was supposed to give you a flower, Nicole, so, and also Megan, so.
I knew that.
All right. I have a closing, I don't think. That's it. I mean, I don't have a closing. That was, yeah, Queen of my heart were my last words on my speech. But yeah, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, babe. I didn't have to worry about anything at all, ever, at home. I did get one phone call, however, on the Theodore Roosevelt. Overseas? Yeah, overseas. Got a phone call where I called her. And no, Joshua, again, the one possessed by the devil, he was losing it. And I called at the right moment. I said, hey, babe, how you doing?
This is what you left me with.
I was like, well, I guess conversation's over. Bye. God. But I didn't have to worry about anything. Literally. Plumbing. She did put the oil in the transmission fluid one time, which made it smoke. But, I mean, everything was handled. And it was because you loved me. I don't know why, but you did, despite what your mom keeps, whatever. Huh? I can't read lips. She liked my butt. Yes, she did. It is a nice one. I get it. So, God. I'm kind of glad the captain didn't come now. Oh my God. So anyway, I want to love you guys. I thank you so much. All the family and friends, and I didn't name all of you. Manny, you're the man. We'll talk later, okay? I love you guys, every single one of you. My chiefs. There's no one who loves you more than me, honestly. And I just don't know how to say it sometimes or show it, but I really appreciate you, okay? So with that, that is it, folks. 32 years in 7 minutes. I think it was something like that. Love you. Thank you.
Guys, please, actually, hang on just a second. Lieutenant Commander retired Jeffrey Harris, United States Navy, will now read the Chief Petty Officer's Retirement Creed. All Chief Petty Officers, past and present, please rise. Attention to Retirement Creed.
You have on this day experienced that which comes to all of us who serve on active duty in our Navy. And I say our Navy because your departure from duty in no way terminates your relationship. By law and tradition, U.S. Navy retirees are always on the rolls, ever ready to lend their service when the need arises. The respect that you earned as the chief was based on the same attributes that you will now carry into your retirement. You should have no regrets. Do not view your retirement as an end of an era, but rather to orders, to a new and challenging assignment, to a form of independent duty. Remember well that you have been, always will be, an accepted member of the most exclusive of all fraternities, that of United States Navy Chief Petty Officer. The active duty chiefs salute you, your retired chiefs welcome you, and I wish you the traditional fair winds, following seas. Best regards, Chief Petty Officer.
Chief Smith, and salute. Ready, two.
At ease. Gerald R. Ford Security Department will now recite the watch.
Aye, mates. For 32 years, this sailor has stood the watch.
While some of us were in school learning our trade, this sailor stood to watch.
Just even before some of us were even born in this world, this sailor, he stood the watch.
In those years when the seas ashore were brewing on the horizon, this shipmate stood the watch. Many a time he would cast an eye ashore and see his family standing there, needing his help. And needing his hand to hold in those tough times. And still, he stood the watch.
For over 32 years, he stood the watch.
He stood to watch so that our families and our fellow countrymen could sleep safely and soundly at night, knowing that this sailor, this warrior, stood to watch.
Today, we are here to say, shipmate, you stand relieved. Relieved by those you have guided, led, and trained. Master Chief, you stand relieved. We have the watch.
Master Chief Tillman will now read the wife's creed.
While her sailors answered the call from the sea, she stood on the shore, fighting down the fear that he would not return. In his absence, she has had to deal with car repairs, home maintenance, financial worries, children injuries, and illnesses. All these and more has taken in stride so that her sailor could proudly serve our nation. Today, the side boys are posted and the boatswain's mates stand ready to pipe. And she has, for so many years, a sailor wife stand waiting on the shore. Soon the pipe will sound and her sailor will come ashore for the last time. His watch stands relieved, so too does hers. We gratefully honor her courage and steadfastness and offer our best to the both of them for the new life they now begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. Thank you for taking part in this time-honored tradition.